So I thought I had my ranking of the PS2 Tony Hawk games figured out, but after replaying them again recently, I've definitely changed my mind. Some games didn't hold up like I remembered, and others actually surprised me big time. So here it is, my updated 2025 ranking of every Tony Hawk game on PS2 from worst to best. And before we hop in, I want to say this ranking is all my personal opinion, so if you agree or disagree with my list, let me know in the comments. Coming in at number 8, dead last, the worst Tony Hawk game on PS2 is Tony Hawk's Proving Ground. Yeah, this one's rough.
Ooh, smells like pee-pee and poo-poo in here. No, seriously, why does it smell like caca and wee-whiz in here?
It opens with that classic Neversoft intro, and for a second you think, okay, maybe this won't be so bad. But once you actually start playing, the vibe immediately dies. The gameplay feels stiff, the maps are massive but totally lifeless, and the color palette looks like someone turned down the saturation just for fun. And I'm not even a graphics guy, but this game looks and feels like a washed out knockoff. The new grind meter and nail the grab just don't work for me. I think they're actually kind of trash. And the story is so forgettable that I was, no joke, zoning out mid-mission. And the soundtrack, man, which is usually a Tony Hawk strong point. This soundtrack is surprisingly weak. Honestly, the only joy I get out of this game was laughing at Tony's weird facial animations. This game just doesn't miss the mark. It misses the whole skate park. Now coming in at number 7, my second least favorite Tony Hawk game on PS2. This is gonna be very, very debatable. This is a super hot take. But number 7, man, it has to be Tony Hawk's Underground. Now I respect what this game introduced, getting off of your board. Now that was actually a game changer. I really enjoyed that feature. And the soundtrack definitely had some bangers. But here's the thing, I just don't like the story. Like, I'm not here to drive cars and do all this random shit. I'm here to skate. And the levels, to me, they're just not that fun to return to. They're honestly not that fun to even play. I will give them props though. The Manhattan Park was actually very nice. I really enjoyed the McDonald's restaurant, the McDonald's billboards, the Butterfinger billboards, and like the Nokia and like the real life brands. And I really enjoyed that in the Manhattan level. But overall, the parks just feel kind of flat. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up with this one, but it just doesn't stick with me. It's definitely not a bad game, it's just not a memorable one. Moving down the list to number 6, we have Tony Hawk's Project 8. Now this one has potential. Now the level design in this game is actually pretty solid. I really enjoyed Suburbs, Downtown, Crete Park, I think that's how you call it. That's one of my favorites. I played this game a lot as a teen. A lot of good parks. I find it really enjoyable, except the Car Factory Park. Oh my goodness. Might be one of the worst maps I've ever played in this series. Also, High School. That one's also really good. I'm not gonna lie. This is also the game that introduced the nail the trick feature, which I think was actually a pretty fun addition. It is a little sloppy sometimes, like you'll just bail for no reason. But when you do end up landing a nail the trick, it does feel very satisfying. And the story, I actually quite enjoyed the story. I think it was a cool plot. Pretty basic, but the story was definitely not bad at all. And another really cool detail that I actually really enjoyed, in the PS2 version at least, you can see the other maps off in the distance, especially from the high school rooftop. And I really enjoyed that, man. It adds a cool bit of world building. Besides the Car Factory Park, one more thing I really wasn't a fan of was that your manual and grind meters do not reset in between combos like the other games do. And that is just honestly tragic, because the flow of your combos, you can't pull as long of combos like you could back in the day because of this actually pretty dumb feature. But this whole game feels like it's caught between eras. It has flashes of greatness, but lacks that signature Tony Hawk energy. Still a decent time, if you lower your expectations. Breaking into the top 5 is Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. Now this is where we start getting into the good stuff. Now the gameplay here, super clean. You've got solid mechanics, great character progression, and the comic book style cutscenes give it a really cool identity. Now for me, this game, the parks were kind of in between great and bad, so they were about decent level parks. Nothing to write home about for the parks. I do like the Minneapolis map though, shout out to my home state, and the Underground 2 reference in there is quite a nice touch. That said, the open world approach didn't fully land for me. It sounds good on paper, no loading screens, one big connected world, but it makes a lot of the parks feel less distinct in my opinion. And while the soundtrack isn't bad, it doesn't hit as hard as some of the others. Still though, gameplay wise, this one is a blast. Some of the best game mechanics of the whole series. Coming in at number 4 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Now this is one that really surprised me. Now I played this game recently, actually last Thursday's episode, we played this game, and I walked away impressed. The level design is super creative, with college being an absolute standout. I think that level is actually a classic that goes down in the whole series of Tony Hawk parks. I think that one's an all-time classic. And I like how they ditched the 2-minute timer for more open-ended challenges. I didn't like it at the start, I'll be honest, but it definitely grew on me. There's not really anything I dislike, it just doesn't quite have that same wow factor as the top 3. Still, very solid game, holds up pretty well. Okay, I know this one's gonna ruffle some feathers. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam at my number 3 spot, and yes, I'm being serious. This game is straight up chaos, and I love it. It's fast, it's aggressive, and the mix of events, from races to trick runs to slalom challenges, special events, keeps it super fresh. The soundtrack, oh my gosh, man. The soundtrack is incredible, easily second best in the series. And I love how each character has their own look, personality, and custom outfits. Now, the controls. This is where things start going a little bit downhill, if you know what I mean. So the controls, yeah, they're kind of rough. Turning feels like you're trying to drift a shopping cart. And sometimes the game is moving so fast, you have no idea what just happened. But it's so fun, man. I think this one, criminally underrated. Coming in at number 2 is Tony Hawk's Underground 2. And let me tell you, man, the gameplay here is unmatched. The controls are tight, the trick chaining is buttery smooth, and the level design is straight up top tier, some of the best levels I've ever played in the entire series. I love that they brought back classics like Airport and Canada, and the park editor, oh my goodness, I used to spend hours in that thing as a kid. Secret Skaters are fire. I mean, playing as Shrek, you can't complain, like straight up. The soundtrack slaps. Top 3 soundtracks, this is bottom 3, and then we got Downhill Jam, and then number 1 is coming right up after this. The soundtrack it's phenomenal, from Frank Sinatra to Disturbed, a lot of variety in the soundtrack. It really helps grow my music taste growing up, honestly. And just overall, the vibe is electric. My only knock is that the story leans a bit too far into the jackass side of things. Like, I'm grinding rails and pulling off tricks in a wheelchair? Really? But yeah, I don't really play Tony Hawk games for the story. I play it for the gameplay and the skating, the replay value and all that kind of stuff. So I really don't care that the story is really kind of all over the place. And that's another thing with Underground 1 that I really didn't like about that game. Not just the story, but Underground 1 had just bad parks in my opinion. The only reason Underground 2 I think is way better is because the parks are phenomenal, and the gameplay of this game, Underground 2, straight up best gameplay in the entire series. Still though, as a pure gameplay experience, it's phenomenal. And finally, the king, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 takes the crown of the best Tony Hawk game on the PS2. And not only on the PS2, this is my favorite skateboarding game of all time, my favorite Tony Hawk game of all time, and one of the best video games of all time. This game, man, oh my gosh. This game is just magic. The parks, oh my goodness, top tier parks, from Foundry to my favorite park of all time, Suburbia, to Airport, Rio. Oh my goodness, there's some amazing ones. They're all iconic, man. The soundtrack, flawless. The glitches, actually very fun. I love, you know, oh my gosh, man. I spent so much time doing glitches and shit in this game. Secret skaters like the Neversoft Eyeball were peak. Definitely my favorite skater in that game. And you even get the Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder demo on the disc. I mean, come on, man. Now that's what I'm talking about. The only thing that would make this game the absolute best skateboarding game of all time is if it had the gameplay mechanics of Tony Hawk's Underground 2. It doesn't have spine transfers, it doesn't have reverts, but I mean, you can't really complain. It's still a very fun time. And I have so many, oh my gosh, so many memories with the park editor. I mean, the previous video we did where we looked through my old memory card and I had a bunch of parks saved from like 13 years ago. Old Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 parks that I remember making back at the day when I would, you know, do sleepovers with my friends. Oh my gosh, just some amazing memories with the park editor, of course. The cheat codes, you can't forget about moon physics. Just that cheat alone is like an amazing cheat. Had some amazing memories with moon physics and just vibing out to the music, which this is the all-time best soundtrack of any Tony Hawk game, by the way. Absolute classic of a soundtrack this game has. And wow, just so many amazing memories that this game holds in my heart. So there it is, guys, my 2025 re-ranking of every Tony Hawk game on the PS2. Let me know where you agree, where you're yelling at your screen, and what your list looks like down in the comments below. And if you missed last week's Pro Skater 4 video, definitely check that out for a deeper dive into Pro Skater 4. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Shout out my amazing channel members who contribute every month to the channel, who are a part of BR80 crew. We have Baby Brady, Tate Harris, A77, and BR80's Girl. Thank you so much for your contributions to the channel. The membership links are in the description. And lastly, Baby Brady, what did you think about my list of all the Tony Hawk games on PS2?
Honestly, the list wasn't bad, but I have to disagree with you because I think Proving Ground is the best one.
You're actually kidding. You like Proving Ground the best? Bro, you are actually... Did you get dropped on the head as a kid? You must have. Like, there's no way you possibly think Proving Ground is the best. All right, you know what? Yeah, get the hell out of here, man. Actually, fuck out of here, my boy. Thank you guys for tuning into this video on the BR80 show. Next episode comes out next Thursday. Stay tuned. And if you enjoy retro gaming content, subscribe to the channel. We do weekly retro gaming content over here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be catching you later. Peace out.